Hello and welcome to the Living World of Darkness, Changeling Edition. Today's scene is set earlier this morning at Misha's place, where Maxine has kind of stuck around to make sure that her drunken friend didn't get sick or into any sick-related issues during the night. But being an early riser, Maxine has taken it upon herself to go out and procure bagels and coffee and is on her way back and unlocking the door to bring the bagels and coffee to her friend. Misha, you awake yet?
There's probably not really a response at this point. She probably doesn't want to be awake if she is. So, no response.
Maxine will set down the coffee and bagels, go over to where Misha is sleeping for a gentle shake. Wakey, wakey. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up.
But no, she's probably, because when you left, you know how you sort of instinctively know when someone leaves, even if you don't really know? Mm-hmm. She's probably sprawled all over the bed by now. As much as this small girl can do that. So, yeah, there's a lot of... and she kind of tries to pull away with her eyes still closed.
But it's bagels.
And you can see her hands are sort of starting to come up to kind of like grab at her head because you know this is not going to be pretty. And she's just kind of like, oh god.
There's locks.
Christy's making a terrible face right now. You, however, because Locks is a sort of fish.
Yes.
She's still kind of grabbing her head, as you can see one eye sort of kind of attempting to open a little bit. And then immediately closing because bright light, head, ow.
Also coffee. Come on, up.
Oh, God. Why? Why are there mornings?
Well, legend has it that there's like a giant dog or a wolf that eats the moon, and that's why there's a morning. And personally, that is the scientific philosophy that I subscribe to.
Right.
Now, come on. She'll offer a hand to help her out of bed.
She is going to, she will take the hand. I'll only after, like, she forces her eyes open for a second and glares at it for a second first. And then closes her eyes again because it still fucking hurts. But she will in fact take the hand and sort of pull, kind of, she'll basically use you to kind of pull up with, because she's normally very strong, or strong enough. She's pretty fit. However, today is very awkward. And the pillow comes up with her as she quickly puts it in front of her face because it's light and she hates light right now. Why?
You're going to have to ask yourself that question, I think.
But why?
She gives a shrug. Those are some really deep philosophical questions you're asking me right now.
Okay. And Hall would have an answer. She sticks her tongue out slightly to the side because, the pillow in front of her eyes.
Would you like me to call him? See if we can get an answer from him. Oh, why?
Yes, do that. It would make me feel better.
I'll send him a text. She says. So.
Good, I don't want to have to read my phone right now. So you'd send the text, it's fine.
I'll send that to the group chat later.
Why?
Misha wants to know why. Does anyone know?
I mean, we always turn to the puka for the best wisdom.
Yes. Because that is what we have.
But she kind of touches down herself, realizing she is not in fact wearing pajamas at all. She's wearing, oh god, that suit that's so wrinkled now. Yeah, it'll need a good cleaning. And she's just gonna her eyes are still not open. She's gonna drop the pillow for a second. She's gonna shrug off the jacket. Just kind of leaving it in a pile on the bed. And then she's going to slowly attempt to stand up as much as she can in that loft little area. And realize that she's going to have to look to walk down those steps and visibly cringe.
Come on. She'll offer an arm and shoulder to lean on for the stairs.
Fine. And she's going to kind of force herself to open her eyes up, because seriously, walking down the steps blind is just not I don't even think there's a rail on those steps, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, it's not even if there is a rail, it's not a great idea. So
yeah. So she's gonna kind of wait a second, sort of try to let the light work a little bit, let her eyes get used to it, but it's visibly painful. And then she'll start down the steps with her, just kind of looking down at her clothes, rather distastefully.
It's a good look for you. I think that this is a style that you should adopt for day-to-day wear. Very professional.
I'm gonna have to wear it some days.
Just like this.
I don't think they'd approve.
Why start doing things for approval now?
When it's a work situation?
Oh, yes. Meh. And she'll lead her to a chair.
Slide
a cup of coffee in front of her.
I haven't heard back yet. Yeah, she'll take the coffee as if she doesn't even like coffee necessarily. I mean, she's okay with it, but it's not her favorite thing.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, she needs it. She knows she needs it.
Maxine is going to be dumping an absurd amount of sugar packets into her own cup of coffee. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Misha will too once she gets some in her to start with.
Yeah. And she will pull out bagels and the small container of locks and slide the locks away from herself towards her friend.
Who unfortunately has taste just like her alter ego self. And yeah, she'll kind of pull it closer, because she knows that Maxie doesn't like this stuff at all. And she'll just be like, I'm pretty sure that if I get this position, if I get this internship, they're gonna want me to dress up, and they're gonna pretty much, want me to fit into that Wall Street motif.
Ugh. I mean, yes. Great. So you want to work Wall Street then? What about Calypso's Grotto?
It's still a thing. This is a part-time internship. As she struggles with the words. Yeah.
Of course.
It's experience. And I'm going to school for this.
I mean, she gives a shrug. I mean, I am sure your boss at Calypso's Grotto demands a lot of work experience. So, yes. She just gives like a little shrug of, like, you don't have to explain yourself to me. As somebody who often does things that defy explanation, we're cool. She'll just. So, I know this is some heavy talk, but you said the situation with old girl was resolved?
Mm-hmm. As much as it can be.
Um,
I ran into her again yesterday. Well, day before yesterday.
mm-hmm.
Then yesterday too, oddly enough. It was really weird.
Are we talking coincidental run-ins, or
yes?
It seems a little.
Well, kind of coincidental. The first time was at Shenanigans, so it can't be that shocking since I've been there before and she's been there before.
Mm-hmm.
Second time was really weird.
What happened the second time?
She was one of the people interviewing me.
Ooh. Very interesting set of coincidences there.
Isn't it, though? I mean, they noticed too. You should have seen their reactions.
Any insight into why she was able to see you?
Apparently, it's a potential thing that some people can do. I can't. I made a deal.
I know all about deals, but
this one's a pretty fair one, I think. They don't tell. I don't tell.
They as in plural, or they as in the gender neutral?
They as in the plural. Let me give you a little bit more.
She just kind of like puts her hand to her head as you say the plural. Oh God. Yes, please.
And she's going to take a long drink of the coffee. And she's going to actually get up and sort of walk very slowly over to get a glass of water, kind of looking to Maxine as she's pulling out a glass, like, "Hey, you want one?"
And she'll nod, like, yeah.
So she'll get 2 glasses of water then, and bring them, set them on the table, because water is pretty much a very wise thing on alcohol issues.
Yes.
So she'll have that with the coffee, both sitting there, and sit back down and just be like, "Okay, well, Shay and I went back to Shenanigans because why not? It has such a welcoming name." And Ava was there. I hadn't gotten around to telling Shay about the whole thing, but I was talking to her, and we went up to Ava, and Shay does know her, so I pretty much brought up the situation. I was like, "Look, you said some stuff to me when you were not in a good way in the bathroom, and I want to know why you said it." And it was very careful because of location. But eventually it came down to we needed to find someplace a little bit safer to speak. Because she wasn't going to tell me anything, and I understand that. I'm sure you do too, especially based on location.
Yes, location is actually why one of my primary concerns about this girl, considering she was muttering about your mane in a public bathroom.
Yeah, I think that was more to do with the alcohol. That part. I don't think it was on purpose. She didn't even remember doing it.
If she has such a loose tongue after some drinks in her, this could be a bigger problem.
That's true, but Nathaniel's kind of protecting her, and I think it's best at this time that we not. I mean, I don't know if she's an actual dreamer, but we still. It might be better just to be careful because he does seem to think of her as a friend or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm inclined to give her another chance and hope that it was just the one time thing. Because she was really out of it. Like she was almost passed out in there.
Mm-hmm.
But either way, I eventually suggested that we could go back to the shop because we could speak there. It's private and there are glass windows there. So, we're doing it right there where everybody can see. They just won't be able to hear.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then put the door unlocked so she would feel safe. Like we're not trying to like kidnap her. We just wanted to talk to her. I
Right.
understand that, right? I mean, this was not about we're going to kidnap you and steal you. This was about we need to discuss this. Um, she didn't even know what she saw meant. But she very much believes in magic.
Huh. And she doesn't have any mane or anything. Did you, I don't know, frisk her for a treasure or anything? Just anything that could have led to.
No, no, I didn't. But she's offered an explanation as to at least a little bit of how she knows. And while we were in there talking, because she had asked, she didn't have a cell phone due to an accident.
Mm-hmm. Of
Apparently, she's klutzy. Can't blame her. We all are sometimes.
course.
Um, so she asked if we could lend her a phone so that she could text a friend to be like, "Hey, I'm going to be here." So I gave her the address because obviously I don't, so that she could tell her friend.
Mm-hmm.
I understand. I mean, it was a safety thing, and I just wanted to talk, and I understand that she was being, protective. And so I gave her my phone. She texted, and well, let's just say that partway through the conversation, her friend showed up and pretty much just barged right in. I had no idea who this person was, but her name's Anna. And well, after me nearly calling the cops, um, we sorted things out, and I mean, she overreacted of just barging into a place that isn't hers and is a store that's not open,
Yeah.
but she was also just protecting her friend. I get it. And she didn't do anything. In fact, she bought some stuff from the store.
Wait. So this friend thought Ava needed protection? What did she text to her friend? What did she say to her friend?
I haven't seen. I haven't seen because she deleted it, and that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I understand that she would send a text on someone else's phone and delete the information. Um,
And does this friend know what you are?
that would be part of the they. But there is a deal made.
One of their deals or one of our deals?
It is not an official deal, if you know what I mean. I don't know if they understand the meaning of that. And I didn't want to give them more information than needed.
If they decide they want some sort of official deal, you should make sure you have somebody on hand who can represent you and, well, your broader interests, maybe, when it comes to sealing that deal.
I understand what you mean. I would have preferred that in this case, but we didn't have anybody there at the time who was capable of it.
Hmm.
And to be honest, again, the Nathaniel thing, like he's one of us,
Mm-hmm.
and he understands that we need to, that I had a valid reason to try to sort this out. But he also seems very taken with her, and I don't want to impinge on his rights, if you know what I mean. And that sounds terrible, but you know what I mean, I hope.
No, I understand you don't want to hurt his friend, but there's nothing saying that you can't protect yourself in the process. I mean, you don't have to smite the girl, but perhaps a little extra oomph to make sure she doesn't run her mouth, even to somebody she maybe views as a really close friend, and making that they just a little bit bigger font, you know?
Well, the deal is, Shea was there and I was there. And, Ava was there and Anna was there. And the deal was that we won't tell something and they won't tell something. Including to my friends. And same for them. So I can't really go into the details of all of that because of deal made, even if it wasn't official deal.
Mm-hmm.
And you know how this works.
I mean, I know how our deals work, but
She actually asked if deals were a big deal to us,
Jesus.
and I refused to answer it.
Yeah, that might be for the best. Don't give them any information beyond what they can see. It's best if their knowledge is, well, it's best if their knowledge didn't exist, but since it
Agreed.
does, superficial would probably be better.
Yeah, they do know what it means now because it needed to be done, but it was just one word that I gave them.
Do they know Shea is?
It came up, yeah.
Do they know what she is?
No, she couldn't see that stuff right now. But I can tell you this: when she saw it, was not while we were at the bar. It was when I was at the museum.
Hmm.
Ava was there, and I saw her. I just didn't get to say hi.
Oh.
But she saw then, evidently.
Oh, I have to go get my son an extra cup of milk real quick. He did not want to go down for his nap, apparently. So one moment.
That's
It
fine.
won't take long.
It's fine.
Okay. Sorry about that. Where were we? So, at the museum. She saw you at the museum.
Yes. And for the record, both of them were very creeped out by that guy, too. The one that creeped me out?
Hmm. Did they give you any insight into what creeped them out about it?
They asked me if I knew anything about him, and I said no, and I really don't ever want to ever be near him, ever again. And that seemed to pretty much satisfy them. Um, I will say they do seem to know more about it and definitely suggested that I stay away.
But they didn't give you that information, just the general warning of stay away.
Pretty much. I mean, they were being careful too.
Well,
I mean, I think it might have even been kind of helpful in the situation that we both had that we had the same reaction. You know, that I had the same reaction to him that they did. They fled, then I fled.
yeah.
So yeah. Also, it turns out that yeah, you heard. Apparently, I met Shea's whatever he is there, and I didn't even know it. Small world, huh?
Increasingly uncomfortably tight.
Kind of, yeah. But now she's probably working on, she's layered on some cream cheese onto a bagel and is putting on the lox pretty generously, as much as you can with a tiny packet, probably.
Yeah. Maxine will take that as a cue and make her own bagel with cheese. No fish. No. um,
Um, yeah, I don't know. That was a really strange night. I just knew that guy felt so wrong. Like the banality just coming off of him in waves.
have you told William any of this?
Um, I meant to tell him about the guy at the museum. I have not told him about the situation with Ava. I asked Shea not to tell him because it was handled, and I didn't really want him getting pissed off and weird.
She takes a bite of the bagel. She nods.
I love the guy, but he can be a little much sometimes. And if I can handle the situation, then there's no need.
Just make sure you don't handle the situation on your own.
I'm not gonna go looking for her or any of that. I mean, it was kind of unplanned. I mean, Shay and I just kind of went to this, which was the same place that we ran into her once before, but we
Mhm.
didn't go there looking for her.
But you said that she gave you the interview at a job you're trying to get. What if you
Yeah.
get that job?
Then I worked the job. It wasn't just her, it was Anna too. It was both of them.
Both? She just.
They were shocked too. You should have seen her face when she walked out. Like Ava walked out of the room looking for me because I was the next person to be interviewed, and she just kind of looked at, but she's like, "Hi," and I'm like, looking just as shocked as her. Like we both were really shocked.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what's going on with that. And Anna even asked about it in the interview. Like, you know, can you see that just how strange it is that you showed up here when we just talked to you like yesterday? And I said something about how, yeah, it is pretty shocking. I mean, everything's possible, but that's pretty improbable.
Where did you find out about this job opening, Misha?
At school, one of my professors said that there was an internship, and I thought I would try for it. You never know what the future's going to hold, and experience can be very helpful.
Your professor doesn't seem strange in any way, right?
No, no, not at all. He's just one of my accounting profs, Professor Rand, the name I made up for him yesterday.
Okay. Well, I mean, I guess there's been stranger coincidences. Um, Hell, if I can
Yeah.
think of one right now.
Agreed. Agreed. I will obviously be on my guard
I
if I get this position. I get that.
I think it might be prudent if you learn maybe some other arts from, well, I could help you with. Anyways, I don't know who else can. But maybe Cronus. I mean, Cronus is nice.
I
It's
I got I learned Chronos from you already. At least
yes.
the very
But
beginning of it.
yes, but perhaps considering the nature of bargains and their very very fragile threads in which they are woven from, it might be best if we switch lessons from timekeeping to bookkeeping.
I'm already pretty damn good at bookkeeping.
I mean, more along the lines of, you know, keeping track of what's said more than what's spent. So,
It's certainly an idea if that's something you. I mean, I know you're definitely not the only person around here who knows that. It seems to be kind of popular, really.
it's, well, yeah, they're kind of a big deal with us. um, but it's always good to have it in your pocket. Should the need arise.
That is actually possibly a good thing, especially if you can. I've heard on some of the higher levels, you can pretty much make the deal and and they won't even have to know that it was meant to be that.
Yeah, unfortunately, she says, and I'm not that level of proficiency myself, but I can make sure that if somebody strikes a deal, they keep it, or else. So, if you ever want to just maybe not Ava, but what was her name? Anna?
Anna, yeah.
Keeps her mouth shut. Um, you know my number.
It might not hurt if I'm going to be mixing with people like this to actually have something on my side. I mean, it's not like I don't have things that are useful and good. Let's just say they probably shouldn't piss me off around their computers or their phones or,
Well,
anything that I just want to not work that's electronic. But
Pikachu,
that's,
I choose you.
you should just shrug. She says, Skycraft can be very useful.
I suppose it could be. I've never really given it much consideration before.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it's something that I feel a bit of an affinity to, simply because I don't know. I mean, when you're someone like me who's so connected to nature, as you are too, but in a different way.
We're both Puka after all.
Right. Yes. Um, the weather is very much something that you typically don't have control over, but it's also a very important part of. It affects you a lot more than say if you live here. As she kind of holds up her hands, like to show her the surroundings of the apartment, which protect you from a lot of the weather.
Yeah.
Especially out in the ocean, the weather could just beat the shit out of you because you have no protection.
Well, I can see how it may have escaped my worldview then. I'm hardly ever be faring rabbit.
Well, if you want, I can teach you sometime. It's up to you.
It's always good to know more things, so.
Well, if you're considering teaching me contracts, we could potentially do a trade in that area. If you wanted to.
I think we can reach an agreement.
Oh, see, it also keeps me from having to roll something. Please don't make me do it again.
What? Sorry,
you know how this. You know the feeling. Like crap, I gotta roll that thing again.
Oh, right, yeah. So yeah, it's a trade. So, so.
Hold, just 1 second. Let me look really quick at something before we continue.
Yes.
She'll just kind of look and be like, well, even at the first level where it appears like it's just the wind, just the first, the first thing you learn, first cantrip. Mm-hmm. I mean, it can be used to slow somebody. It can be used to make you faster if you put it behind your back.
Now that I could see being very, very useful.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it actually is. Or you can use it to blow things away. I mean, I hope there's never a poisonous gas attack that comes at us, but I would be very useful in that situation.
Always bet on Misha.
Okay, it's not a very common thing to have a poisonous gas attack.
You never know. Look at us. It's probably not a common thing for somebody that happened to see your Fey Main just casually running into you over and over and over again. Like a very persistent truck.
Yes. From here on out, we can refer to Ava as the truck.
Yes. The persistent truck.
I'm sure she'll love that reference.
Never explain it. It'll make it so much better.
Or explain it too much, which seems to be your tactic.
We are who we are. So, speaking of explaining too much, Absinthe. It was explained to you who they were.
Yes, that's what I was most wondering about. I just didn't want to go into the rest of the detail in front of... I mean, I understand why you didn't want it out there. I wasn't trying to push that for you to do that.
No. Yeah, I'm... They need to be drug out where we can beat them down.
Why exactly? I get that he's a bad guy, but why do we need to drag this person out?
Well, because we can't find him, she says with kind of a quirk of the eyebrow. And hide and seek can only last for so long.
Does this person have something we need?
This person,
your response is about to be, oh, of course not. Never, never, never.
Actually, I'm trying to think of what it...
that was Misha saying it out loud.
Oh, okay. This person has exactly what we need and has been overly generous in providing it for us. In fact, I would say what they are is a provider of an explosively good time.
Oh. Fuck that guy.
Indeed. So, my thoughts are to use my messianic reputation to draw him out.
So this person is evidently interested in you.
I don't know if they're interested in me, but I would like them to believe I'm interested in them in the most sincere fashion.
Okay. Meaning you're thinking post up graffiti that is specifically against absinthe
No,
to try to get attention.
more along the lines of, as you know, okay, as you know, my people are incredibly honest and forthright.
The most honest and forthright, yes.
And using that honesty and forthrightedness, um, I will let Absinthe know that I am interested in an alliance. And then we will drag him out into the open and beat him with sticks, pointy sticks, sharp sticks, maybe some rocks.
And does this any of this involve calling in Bashir, or are we just going to punish him for fun?
Um,
It's hard to lie when you have two options there.
yeah. In your experience, no, this is where questions come in. In your experience, how effective have the sheep been when it comes to dealing with dirty work?
I would say the most effective people I've ever met.
Right? I agree. Which is why we should give them a break and maybe deal with this one without them.
And then just give the guy to him afterwards.
I don't think there's going to be much left of them to give.
Indiscriminate explosions don't help anybody.
Unless you're a minor, I guess. I don't know. But he put my friends in danger. I'm not interested in hearing his excuses.
And they were too busy running to stop the other explosions down the hall.
Yeah.
We stopped one. There were two more.
They are super effective, those leaders of ours. Super, super effective. You can see why we are all filled with nothing but admiration and awe. Even my close personal friend is incredibly impressed with the nature of our current leadership.
Well, he also basically has to serve them too, to be fair.
Yeah, you'd figure he'd be a little more forgiving.
I wouldn't figure anything about him. I'm not sure forgiveness is part of his, shall we say, repertoire.
There's she kind of gives a weird look. There's a lot more to his repertoire than I originally expected.
I
She
will let
shoves
you.
like half a bagel in her mouth.
Yeah, she'll just be like, I'll just have to leave you to that thought. Um,
It has nothing to do with pews, she says, through her full mouth of bread and cream cheese.
Nothing to do with what?
Pews, nothing to do with pews.
God damn it, better not. Because those things are made of far too much wood, and we both know it.
Ugh, the splinters alone. Coffee sits it down. No, the guy's got a set of pipes. I'll say that much for him. And he's kind of sad.
Misha,
And
yeah, she just blinks like completely, pretty much shocked by this. the idea of him being sad.
I think I may have fixed it. I don't know. She's like not making eye contact, kind of doing that like kind of like mental like check your brain by rolling up your eyes kind of thing. Yeah. Let's just say I've had to deal with quite a few hangovers this week.
I haven't, but now I'm behind. I'm gonna have to. Oh God. Shit, it's late, isn't it?
I mean, she looks at her watch. I mean, we can. I mean, it's it is what it is.
Yeah. I'm normally up pretty early too. You're not the only one.
I imagine you've probably got some stuff to do and things to deal with, people to kill, names to scour into stone. Am I thinking of someone else? Maybe.
I mean, I might just go for a swim.
Oh. Yeah, that too.
Maybe murder some fish, grab some seaweed. It'll be all good.
Oh, okay. The first best sushi place is apparently the bottom of the ocean.
Well, you have to go out a ways. You don't want to eat most of the stuff you find here. Unfortunately, for those poor creatures, the pollution is terrible.
Fair enough. But when it comes to those poor creatures, I don't put any of them in my mouth. And she gives a little smile while pointing at herself. So, there's some other stuff I wanted to talk to you about regarding my friend, but I guess it can wait for another day.
I mean, I have things to do, but if you know as well as I do, I have far too many things going on. But changeling stuff is kind of priority, if you know what I mean.
Well, I know everybody is super fond of my friend, but and absolutely thrilled that I've made this deal with him. So, I don't know. I've been contemplating taking that burden off of everybody's mind.
Are you going to kill him?
Oh, with kindness. And maybe travel brochures.
You're taking him on a honeymoon?
Yes. Our belated honeymoon.
Maybe you get married first.
Yeah. I mean, when hell freezes over, will be quite the day to remember. Best commemorate it with a equally memorable honeymoon. And she shakes her head. I don't know. I'm sure. Never mind. It's cool.
And Misha's just looking more and more confused.
And she takes a sip of her coffee and just kind of like shakes off the look of deep thought. So, do you need a ride to work? Because I have my car.
I mean, I need to get dressed and stuff. I can't wear this. I need a shower.
Okay, well.
And maybe, some Tylenol.
Actually, I mean, how much time do you need?
I don't know. half an hour. It doesn't take that long.
I mean, how far are you running behind?
And she's gonna kind of pull out her phone. Finally able to focus a little bit, although her head still hurts because she hasn't taken the Tylenol yet. And she'll look at it and just be like, mostly I just need I think I just need to get a hold of the contractor, see if I can move up some stuff. I need them to get the apartment ready as soon as possible. At least enough that I can move in, because at least to have a place that I can set up a couch so I can at least sleep there. I can deal with the rest of it, but I at least need to have the living room and like the bathroom. I can bring in takeout if I have to for a while they're doing the kitchen.
So maybe this hour that we've just used talking, would that help you get a jump start on the day?
There's always more stuff to do. I actually need to paint that last storage room today. And then if you feel, I mean, I don't know, are you offering to help? As she just kind of stumbles over her words and finally spits out something.
She looks at her watch. Well, I was going to try and give you more time, but yeah, I can help if extra hands be on the watch or be in the rabbit.
I mean, if you want, the time also works. I mean,
okay,
whatever you want to do.
So Maxine is like, I'm just kind of giving you like that look of like, okay.
Misha's still pretty out of it. If you can't tell,
yeah.
She's actually going to stand up and she's going to go to the cabinet and pull out like a bottle, get a couple of Tylenol out, and take them.
Do you have any herbs and spices?
While standing, she will walk over and flip open a cupboard, which actually does have a pretty decent assortment, mostly dry. I mean, it's going to be all dried stuff, nothing like fresh.
That's fine. And she'll go in there and like search. I need time.
There probably is time in there. It's a pretty standard sort of thing.
Yeah. And so she'll reach in and grab a shaker of like dried thyme, pour some in her hand. Like, hey, Misha. Look at me for a moment.
Yeah, she's looking.
And she'll just kind of like blow the thyme. She'll just kind of blow the thyme at her, not like in her face, but just in the general direction of
there's time in my eyes.
And that's gonna be her bunk. And I'm
giving you time here.
Yes. Let's see. I'm going to try and use scene so it takes both of us and Faye. So, do you add the extra dot, or is it just an extra difficulty point?
I think it's extra. I don't think you get to add the dot for scene.
Okay.
But you do. But yeah, it would be an extra high, extra point of diff.
Okay.
And it might be an extra glamour too. I'm not sure.
I don't remember. I'll look it up afterwards. But I know it's definitely the extra point, which is why I needed the bunk to bring it back down to like a regular difficulty. Would you say that's a 1 or a 2? Probably a 1. Mildly annoying the Selkie.
As there's now time all over the floor.
Yes. So let's see, Faye and my Chronos, which is now at 4. Thank God. And I'll spend a willpower.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I don't want to botch.
But hey, if that's all you get, hey, that means we got back like 5 minutes.
Yeah. At least the time won't be on the floor.
The paradoxes. We're gonna have a time paradox here. Where's the time? Where is the time?
Okay, so that's 3 successes with the willpower spend, and I'll have to.
What does that do?
Which one is that? it's going to yoink us back in time. What? And because this isn't a battle scene, it's kind of like storyteller discretion. So,
Or you were just looking for like an hour, so
yeah.
Which one?
So,
Which level is that?
Chronos 4.
Okay. Yeah, this is going to be a really weird sensation.
Yeah, but because she's already taught you Chronos, you don't have to be disoriented from being sucked backwards through time with
Yay! But she still gets pretty big eyes because she's never done this before.
her. Yeah.
Those seal eyes just go, what? Real big. Okay, so yeah, we go back in time, and yeah, you know what? I'm just not even going to worry about whether the time is on the floor or not.
It's kind of a big deal. That's the sound I imagine time travel makes is
it sounds a little bit like someone's like, I don't know, like
breaking a vacuum seal.
Yeah. Like it's you know what it sounds like? It sounds like when you open up a like one of those roll of like biscuits that you can buy, or like cinnamon rolls in a can.
Yes.
You bit of that pop that you just get, oh my god.
So yeah. Since it's just a flavor bunk that I can reference at some point if I ever try to buy Chronos 5.
We'll call it cinnamon rolls.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, what is it? Does it say anything about how long it goes back?
It depends on. Yeah, it depends. It's a storyteller thing. Like it's usually like, oh, if it's a bunch of this, it's like it can start at the beginning of the fight scene. We're not fighting.
Oh God! I really hope I'm never in a scene that happens, because you're basically never going to get out of this scene ever.
Right.
I mean, it's one thing if you go back like a turn.
Yeah.
But then you have to sit there to remember what you did that last turn.
Which, by the way, if Maxine was to ever do this, she's definitely casting Misha instead of herself. Like, you fix it. So.
Oh, Christ.
She taught you Chronos. You're a better decision maker than she is, maybe.
Oh, no.
And now you understand the slow bunk that's been building up.
Okay, so we're going to say that time goes back an hour. It gets a little bit darker because, you know, how it is earlier in the day, it was a little bit darker.
Mm-hmm.
So the lighting probably changed. And yeah, we're just going to assume that we're not going to like have this weird time paradox moment where we're staring at each other in the chairs. And now we're standing, because I'm assuming that's not a thing.
But the bagels are back.
Oh, yes! She's going to go back and grab the bagel and have it again.
There you go.
She'll just kind of blink and be like, okay, that was fucking cool.
Yes. It really is.
Bagel?
Please.
The whole purpose was just to get 4 bagels out of 2.
Spend some glamour to get some bagels. And I think that might be a good place to end our scene. As they read the bagels.
That's fucking terrifying. Double the locks, double the fun.
As the bagel meets itself in the stomach, like, what have I done?
There is a paradox in our belly.
Oh, fantastic. All right. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. And we'll see you next time.